Hi there, Jay here again. Are you ready to go north? Well, I am. But we don't have to here in Alberta because we're already in the north. In fact, we're a northern superstar. Did you know that there are far more Albertans living north of 50 degrees north latitude than all other northern Canadians combined? And this fact alone shows that comparing Albertans to other more southern Canadians on things like per capita spending on healthcare and education is just completely unfair. So to prove the point, we're going to show you on a map just how many Albertans there are north of 50 degrees north latitude compared to all other Canadians. And then we're going to answer the question why this matters so much. So let's begin. But first, for the next few seconds, we're going to acknowledge and thank someone most important to us. Indeed, we are eternally grateful to our Lord Jesus Christ for saving us from hell. So continuing on now, most Albertans are familiar with 49 degrees north latitude and 60 degrees north latitude. These two lines mark the southern and northern borders of mainland British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and of course, Alberta. Now, as we draw a line at 50 degrees north latitude, watch what happens. Would you look at that? Nobody in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island lives north of 50 degrees north latitude. That's right, 0%. Who knew? Since some shiny maps of Canada come without lines of latitude. That kind of sounds like a vast Canadian colonial conspiracy to us. Oh, did I say that out loud? Moving along now. Only 0.6% of Ontarians, 1.2% of Quebecers, 8% of Newfoundlanders, 12% of British Columbians, and 20% of Manitobans actually live north of 50 degrees north latitude. But please keep in mind that there is only 111 kilometers between 49 and 50 degrees latitude. So when you look at a map, most Manitobans and British Columbians actually live in a very narrow strip beside the United States border, while a whopping 93% of Saskatchewanians live north of 50. And of course, almost 100% of people living in the Yukon, Nunavut, and the Northwest Territories are not only north of 50, but north of 60, with a total of 113,604 people. That's just a tad more people than Red Deer, Alberta. Now, without Alberta, the rest of Canada can only muster less than 2.2 million people living north of 50, with about 84% of those living in Saskatchewan, British Columbia, and Manitoba. And now compare this to the 93% of Albertans actually living north of 50, which works out to more than 3.77 million Albertans. A full 1.57 million more people actually living north of 50 here in Alberta than all the rest of Canada living north of 50 combined. Now draw another line at 54 degrees north latitude. That's north of Edmonton, by the way. And you will find 394,431 Albertans living north of 54 degrees north latitude. That works out to almost 3.5 times more people than the Yukon, Nunavut, plus the Northwest Territories combined. That is also 59,361 more people than all other Canadian provinces combined. So we've now just proven that Alberta is indeed the most developed and most populated province north of 50 in all of Canada. But this alone doesn't prove that Alberta is a superstar. For that, you'll have to watch our short video called The Shocking Truth About Alberta and Saskatchewan. So why does this matter so much? Well, Canadians at different latitudes have different experiences than Albertans. Different experiences with length of seasons, climate, and driving distances to the United States, as well as other differences like heating costs, transportation costs, even building costs, and even per capita education and healthcare costs that our governments have to cover. And because Albertans have these exceptionally different needs and interests compared to other Canadians, even other North Americans, and because Albertans are only about 10% of the Canadian population, Albertans' exceptional needs are rarely taken into account. So what are Albertans to do? Well, Sun Tzu in his book, The Art of War, and I'm not interested in starting any wars, and neither was he, says, first we must know ourselves. Then we can compare ourselves to our friends and our foes here in Canada and around the world. Then, together, we can come up with many options and eventually a plan to meet our exceptional needs as Northern superstars. Well, thank you for staying till the end of the video, and thank you for all your likes, comments, subscriptions, please subscribe, and any shares. Share this with fellow Albertans, because I know a lot of Albertans don't know this information. And if you do need to get in touch with us directly, my email address is jbortnik@gmail.com, and of course our sources can be found on the link below. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you soon.